What's up, guys? It is your Utah real estate and economics girl, Ryland. Yesterday, I posted a video giving a brief overview of what a free market structure is and how it compares to America's current system. Just to summarize, a free market gives us all the right to start a business and make revenue within the confines of supply and demand. Today, we are talking about market coercion. Yay! Simply put, market coercion is when the variables of supply and demand are manipulated in favor of a certain business or businesses. Typical examples include things like companies falsely advertising a product, selling products that are unsafe to a consumer, or raising prices outside of consumer regulation. Governments can contribute to market coercion by either over-regulating or under-regulating the market. Things like not regulating a product that a business sells to make sure that it's safe and usable to the consumer. Or they can overreach by doing things like banning individuals from entering the market, which would prevent competition for certain established businesses, like Stalin did when he established the Soviet Union in 1922. Forcing those that could otherwise sell their labor to consumers to instead be mandated to sell their labor to a few operating businesses, or in Stalin's case, the government. This creates an oligarchic and monopolistic economy in which those few operating businesses have full reign on paying their employees as much or as little as they choose. History shows us that when companies have government on their side to ensure that they have as many employees at their disposal as possible, they almost always raise the price of their product and pay their employees as little as they possibly can in order to increase their profit margin, which always means that the workforce ends up struggling to pay for the goods that are available to them with their shitty salary that they're making from the government. Oops, I meant business. Okay, whoa. So how is this applying to America's economy? Our government grants us the freedom to enter the market at will. We can all choose to go out and start a business and do our best to be successful, right? Right. But also, no. Of course, there is no written law that strips us of our personal freedom to start a business and make a profit. And we should absolutely keep it that way. But there are laws and procedures that create unnecessary obstacles for individuals to enter the market with their own business. Those who can get past these hurdles typically have the time, the resources, and most importantly, the money to pay for whatever bullshit permits, education, taxes, cost of resources, etc. needed for them to continue to run their businesses legally. Or the people with this money have the ability to influence the government not to hold them accountable for not abiding by these lawful regulations. That's literally what a lobbyist does. They just make friends with government officials and either advocate for certain legislation that would benefit their business, or they simply just bribe that representative into turning a blind eye away from that business's practices. It's always the corruption. This is why small and new businesses have such a hard time getting up and running and stay alive past their average 2-year lifespan, which leaves us as the consumer and participants in the workforce with limited options of products to buy and businesses to work for. Now, let me clarify, I am not saying that business regulations are bad, but when regulations are used as a tool by the government and their preferred businesses to make money off of us, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Let's use education and healthcare as an example. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to go to a doctor that hasn't received their education and board approval. Ensuring that doctors are competent and can improve health outcomes in their patients is a regulation that highly benefits everyone. Otherwise, we'd still be dying of stupid sicknesses like the common cold or preventable infections. But if the higher education market granting these certifications is oligarchic, and doctors only have a few accredited schools to choose from to get these certifications, who's to keep those schools from charging an outlandish amount for these programs? And even worse, who's to keep these schools from cutting corners in what they teach these doctors? When I was a young lass studying for my economics degree, I researched the healthcare system in America and learned that out of 10 other fully developed countries, America consistently has the worst healthcare outcomes with the highest cost of care. America is the wealthiest country on earth, and yet we are top 5 in the entire world, third world countries included, in birth mortality rates, aka pregnant women dying during delivery. Excuse me, is it not 2022? I thought we had figured out this technology by now. Needless to say, I'm concerned. And doctors are in a tricky position. Not only does the average doctor graduate for a humble amount of $200,000 of student loan debt, but their work options are super limited as well. And as time goes on, the average salary for doctors continues to decrease. I gave it a quick Google, and you absolutely should too. In 1980, the average doctor's salary was about $81,000 a year. And if we look at that amount in today's money, that salary would have the buying power of around $291,000 a year. So what are doctors making today? It's still a decent amount, but it's closer to $145,000 a year. So their salary is going down and their education costs are rising. Yep, because not only are the oligarchies running the higher education market, they're also running the market of hospitals that employ our doctors. So let's pose a similar question for hospitals. If there are few hospitals that consumers can go seek care from, and few hospitals that doctors can go work at, who's to say those hospitals won't jack up their prices? And who's to say they won't pay doctors as little as they possibly can? Or worse, hire as few doctors as they possibly can, so they have less people to pay. American doctors work an average of 40 to 60 hours a week just because of low staffing. No wonder our healthcare outcomes are so bad. Our doctors literally don't have time to rest. And it's not that there's a shortage of doctors to fill these staffing roles. In fact, this is just another way to identify whether or not a company is using market coercion. If they're operating as if there's a shortage of employees and products, but there really aren't. And here they are, right in front of our eyeballs, profiting off of us and their doctors. Unfortunately, it's not just the healthcare industry. More examples of market coercion and manufactured market shortages can be found in the real estate industry as well. But I'm gonna give you a break. This is too much information for one day and already too long of a video. I probably lost most of your attention already. So let's regroup and come back tomorrow where I will have a video about more examples of market coercion in the real estate industry. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about the topics of today's video, but you don't want to pay $30,000 for an economics degree like I did, I highly, highly recommend that you watch Escape Fire: The Fight to Rescue American Healthcare, which is a documentary that goes much more into depth about the issues in the healthcare economic system. I believe you can watch a free version of it on YouTube. And The Bleeding Edge, which I believe is on Netflix. It's a documentary that talks about the corruption in healthcare technologies and how the medical technology industry is also oligarchical, and how they influence bad regulation policies so they can cut corners in the production of their product. Please be warned, these will make you sad, but stay with me because I am confident we will come up with a solution. Peace out, bye.